Now we're working on the ears, and the ears is just a simple circle like this, and then we roll it up and then sew the end piece together to hold the shape. And that's all there is to that. And this is what you end up with here. So for this one, we work the starting yarn tail into the second or third row, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Row 1 is a loop with 6 stitches, so I'm going to make a magic ring. That's the one I prefer. I wrap around those 2 fingers and I hold the yarn tail with my pinky and my thumb. And also this working yarn tail is held in between my pinky and my thumb. So I just go through those 2 loops, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through, and that makes the slip knot. Now I'll put my 6 stitches into this circle. So going through the circle, yarn over and pull through. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then I'm going to pull on these strings here to close up the circle. And there was my loop with 6 stitches, and that is row 1. And again, if you need slower help with this part, then please visit one of those videos, and then come on back after you have your loop with 6 stitches. Row 2 is 2 single crochets in each one of those 6 stitches. And I'm going to work the starting yarn tail into the second or third row. I just want to get this circle a little bit bigger and easier to hang on to before I do that. I'm going to go into my first stitch and put in my 2 single crochets. There was 1. Now going back in the same stitch I was just in, and put my second single crochet. Now put 2 single crochets into the second stitch. Remember, I'm going through both loops of that stitch always. Put my 2 single crochets, and into the third stitch put 2 single crochets. And now I'm going to hold this starting yarn tail along the edge, and I'm going to crochet around it. I just waited 3 stitches so my circle would be a little bit bigger and easier to hang on to. So I'll just get my hook in there first, go through. I'm going to hold this starting yarn tail along the edge, just wrapping it around the hook there, and put my 2 single crochets in as I normally would. If this is too awkward for you, you can also hold it along the edge in the next row. And 2 single crochets into the last stitch of the row. And that just hides that starting yarn tail. I can cut that free now, but be very careful not to cut any of the working yarn. So let's add our marker now. Row 3 is 1 single crochet in the first, and then 2 single crochets into the second stitch. Repeat all the way around, and when you land on the marker you should be putting in 2 single crochets. So 1 in the first and 2 single crochets into the second stitch. And now I'm going to leave you on your own, and I'll meet you back here when we land on the marker. 1 single crochet in the first, 2 in the second, then repeat that sequence, 1, 2, 1, 2, all the way around. I'll meet you back here when we land on the marker. All finished row 3, and now we have 18 stitches around. And remember, if your piece is folding up on itself, just fold it right side. Where that starting yarn tail was coming out of, we just push that inward. Row 4 is 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches, then 2 single crochets into the third stitch, and then we're going to repeat that, 1 in the next 2, then 2 single crochets into the third, repeating all the way around. When you land on the marker, you should be putting in 2 single crochets. So 1 in the first, 1 in the second, and 2 single crochets into the third. Remember, when you go through, you're going through both loops of the stitch. And now repeat that, repeat all the way around, and we'll meet back here on the marker. All finished row 4, and now we have 24 stitches around. Now we're going to slip stitch into the next stitch and finish off. So remember, you just go in to the next stitch like you normally would, grab your yarn and pull it through. Instead of yarning over, just pull the first loop through the second loop. And there we go, and now we're going to finish off. Leave a little bit of a tail for sewing. You're going to use this tail to shape the ear and also sew it to the head. So now pull that yarn tail through the loop and pull it tight. Now we're going to shape the ear. So we're going to thread our yarn needle, and remember just to bend the yarn over and push the bend through. So this is what the ear should look like when we're done. It's just a simple roll. So now we're just going to roll this. This is the wrong side and this is the right side. You want the right side to be on the outside of the ear, the part that's visible. So we're just going to roll this. And now we're just going to put in a couple of stitches to hold that shape. I'm going to carry my yarn needle inside that roll and bring it up right about there. Don't pull it so tight that it alters the shape there. You just want to have it hold everything in place. Just a couple stitches will do. And that's all there is to that. And I'm just going to knot this off. Before I pull it all the way, just go through that loop and pull it tight. So when you roll the ear, you want them to be, when they go on the head, you want the rolls to be going in the same direction. So just remember that when you roll the second ear and hold the shape, that you want it to be the same on each side.